I thought that Saraya and Tony Storm would come by and pick that up, or Willow would pick it up, but nobody's really picked that up. I agree with that sign. Booked the girls better.
Been a big story over the last week or so is once again AEW's lack of creative when it comes to their women's division is at the center of conversation when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. They had a matchup on the July 26th edition of AEW Dynamite where Dr. Britt Baker DMD defeated Taya Valkyrie, and then after the matchup the camera zoomed in on a sign that said book the women's division better. There was different conversations, whether it was Soraya liking a post from one of the journalists over at Wrestle Purist who was complaining about the Outcast storyline and the lack of creativity in that after a half a year of the storyline. She liked the post of that. There's other reports of kind of people being aloof in regards to the booking. Here we are 4 years in, and it's still a point of contention when it comes to the AEW. Is their women's division and lack of creativity, even with stars like Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale, Athena. It seems to still be a lingering problem, but we have someone here in Dutch Mantell that booked one of the most successful non-WWE women's divisions out there in the land when it came to the TNA Knockouts division. So with the landscape of AEW, and if you need me to name names of players to kind of put into play so you can come up with something creatively here, like you said, you only have 35 seconds to think of something while people have hours and days to think about this, but I'm putting you on the spot here. How does AEW book their women's division better with the people they currently have at play? That means that we can't put into play people that are currently out with injury or time off, like Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa, Jamie Hayter. Those people are out, unfortunately. Those are three big players right there. But with the people they currently have...
This is what I notice about AEW. You'll see a talent for a week, 2 weeks, then they disappear for a month. And they do that the same thing with the girls. I thought Saraya and Tony Storm, they were a great combination together. But now they got off them. They got off Cora Jade. They got off Cargill. They got off Willow. They got off a lot of people. They just get off of them. And you cannot let up. If you're going to do this, who is the girl who went undefeated? That's Cargill.
Jade Cargill.
She was undefeated. She was like 45-0 or something.
60-0 before she lost.
Well, do you see her lately or no? I haven't been seeing her.
Since she lost her undefeated
well, I quit watching the show.
Since she lost her undefeated streak, she's been off of TV since Double or Nothing in May.
See, that's why they're not hot. Don't you think if she was undefeated?
No, this was self-inflicted time off. She's like taking a break after the long run and the undefeated streak.
Have you seen an interview though from her? You've seen one or no?
No.
Talking about it? Well, if she's going to take time off, you got to do a series of interviews saying she's not happy with it and she's leaving to go train or leaving to find herself again, and she lost it herself. Don't be too happy about it because she's coming back, and when she's coming back, she's going to take back what belongs to her. So, but I don't think you've seen that. So, but you have to, that's creative's job to do that. So if they're not doing that, they let these things just get away from them. If you don't see it for 2 or 3 weeks or something from her, you think she's going to lose? If you were 60-0 and you lost to go do something else, well, wouldn't you at least try to get an interview out of it to explain where you went? Or creative needs to do that? I would say that. But that's the problem with the girls. I would love to have that girls division. I would love to have it because my big push is telling a story. F the wrestling until you need it. Tell the story first and get people invested in the story, and then go ahead with it and listen to those people because they'll tell you where to go. So, but they had that leader of them, and she got beat. And then I thought that Saraya and Tony Storm would come by and pick that up, or Willow would pick it up, but nobody's really picked that up. I agree with that side. Booked the girls better. I believe that because I'm a strong believer in female wrestling, and I think handled right, you can get just as much attention, if not more, on the girls than you can the guys.
So true. It's very true. And hopefully they can book the women's division better. You did a great job of identifying the issue, which is just lack of TV time and lack of time to get over and become stars for a lot of these women. And the last time they really did that for anybody was Britt Baker. Like a concentrated effort to get someone over as a top star was Britt Baker. They did not do that for Thunder Rosa. They haven't done that for Toni Storm through 2 reigns. They were starting to do that with Jamie Hayter after she had already gotten over with the fans kind of organically. But unfortunately, injury kind of stopped her run. So it just seems like they have to get behind these women. And the 2 women that I just named is the program that I think can be their Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong, as that was your feud. I think that's the feud right there for AEW. When Jamie Hayter is back, you pull the trigger on Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker because those are 2 top stars going at it.
When I booked Awesome Kong, you just had to book her the right way. She was unstoppable, plus she was big. And I told her, I says, do not go off your feet till I tell you to. And then some people inside the office, they said, when's she going to go off her feet? I said, when I tell her to. And finally, and we did a main event with Gail Kim and Awesome Kong that set a record in TNA, except for Hogan. When Hogan came, he beat it just by a little bit. But here I had these 2 girls we booked in the main event, and they did a 3.45. See, if it got to a 3.5, it would almost, I think they automatically jump it to a 4, but I don't. That's what I heard. But a 3.5 for TNA in those days were, they drew the ratings so they could pay Sting and Kurt Angle. And Gail Kim and Kong were making nowhere near the money that those 2 were. And they were outdoing them by a whole percentage point. That showed me, in my book that I wrote, I talk about it. I say, these guys, let me write up my screen here. Those girls were so easy to book because I've had people tell me they didn't like the other wrestling, but when the girls came on, they would sit down and watch the show. And then when the girls left, they left. And the ratings, they reflected that. So when the girls left, it would say if we was doing a 2.4, and the girls come on, it automatically jumped to a 2.7. I don't care who you had out there. And then when they leave, it jumped back down to a 2.4. So, but what do I know? But I asked for the girls, got them, and I made it work.